Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Eco Farms and Agro Services channel. Today we'll be talking about the integrated approach to pest management in conventional greenhouse or protected cultivation as you have. The Eco Farms, we practice two things. An integrated approach, which is essentially crop boundary that engages a high organic approach to an inorganic approach. Our emphasis for organic is based on the fact that we're an organization that is conscious of human health, so we're careful to use chemicals in our farms that may be detrimental to the environment as well as the consumers. We will be focusing entirely on the pests and diseases we're experiencing in our farms. While we will agree that there are a lot of diseases out there, if you are experiencing something that we've not discussed, we'll be happy to hear from you as well as learn from you. At the Eco Farm, some of the key pests that we experience in our pepper greenhouses are thrips, aphids, and whiteflies. And then for diseases, we have had experiences with deficiencies in micronutrients. We've had powdery mildew and importantly wilting. So the first thing I'd like us to understand is that in typical greenhouse management, it's an isolated environment, and so if you do not understand the principles of phytosanitary management, phytosanitary is just a big grammar for how you manage pests coming into the farm to harm your investment, manage pests from not harming your workers and importantly the end users. And so at the Eco Farms, we insist that workers and visitors have standard phytosanitary protocols that they follow. We have a foot bath at the entrance of the greenhouse. Each greenhouse, we have a hand wash and foot wash station where each staff who is going out and coming into the greenhouse has to follow these protocols by washing their hands all the way to their elbows to remove any infections from the interactions with other workers from the environment and their colleagues. And the foot bath is to take away any infections on the foot, which is a solution treated before they come into the farm. So if you manage these protocols properly, ensure that your greenhouse doors are properly closed when you open them, ensure that if there are any openings or leaks by the anti-arthropod nets for ventilation, that you close them, you've greatly minimized room for pests or diseases to spread. And then the other things are that when farm workers are pruning, managing the greenhouse, we insist that they are careful to sterilize and sanitize after each work so that they do not transfer disease from one kit to the other or from one plant to the other. So we go straight to talk about the insect pests. And the first ones are the aphids. Aphids are very tiny insects. They prefer to find themselves localized within the apical meristems of the plants. That's the area of the plants where they are actively growing and multiplying. So that area of the plant is very juicy, it's very soft, and they are able to stay there all their life and feed on the nutrient sap that comes from the plants. They are very voracious, and importantly, they multiply very fast. So one key thing as a farm manager is that, or an agronomist, is that you have to scout at most 3 to 2 times every day of the week. And essentially, where you should be looking for these insect pests are those apical meristems, where those plants are actively shooting, where they are growing. So essentially, when you find those insect pests there, you should be able to determine what is the plant insect population. If it's not so much, you can do a localized treatment using like a powder to treat that spot. But if it's so much across the farm, you have to do a fumigation protocol. Some of the active, and then for whiteflies, which are the other insect pests, they like to hide underneath the foliage, underneath the leaves. So when you are scouting for whiteflies, you have to look underneath, not above. You hardly will see them above. When you look underneath, you may see them. When you're doing that, you have to flip the leaves gently so that they don't fly off. They're so tiny, if you are not careful, you may not see them. And then the other important insect pests are thrips. Thrips are very destructive. They don't just wipe your farm by bringing in infections. Importantly, they greatly reduce the quality of your peppers. The market is looking for peppers that have no defects. What thrips do is that the young shoots of the pepper fruits, they begin to infect them and scar them and cause some form of defects, and your market won't like such. So it's important that you scout for these things as often as you can. When you're looking out for thrips, importantly, where you find them, the predilection sites where you find them are in the flowers, where the young fruits are forming, where the young fruits are very healthy, rich and juicy for them to suck up the plant sap that is supposed to develop the fruit. So you have fruits that are deformed and then they don't have very good market value. For insect pests, when you're looking to treat, while there may be a lot of brands out there in the market, what you should look out for as an agronomist is to look out for insecticides that are rich in emamectin, cypermethrin, profenifos, and acetamiprid. Ensure that these active ingredients are above 50 grams per volume. The reasons for this emphasis is because if these concentrations are low, remember, as a greenhouse is ventilated, the active ingredients may not stick around for so long, and you may have to see yourself spraying so much. That's for the chemical aspect. For our organic, we have an in-house product that we use. It's essentially a plant-based insecticide rich in neem oil. And neem oil is important to control insect multiplication, insect larval metamorphosis, which is growth from one point to the other, and importantly, kill them off. It's environmental friendly, has very little to no side effects, and we greatly recommend it. For diseases, we've found wilting. While we may not be able to talk exhaustively on the type of wilting you experience in your farm in pepper, there may be of bacterial origin like bacterial wilt. There may be of extensively fungal infections, and some of the wilting comes from the workers who go around in the farm, the open farm and the open field, and then come in with untreated fields. And then an important source is water, where your source of water is, if you don't treat it properly and ensure that it's clean with proper filtration system, you may be experiencing these wilt infections. We've also experienced powdery mildew. Wilting, essentially what they do is that they kill your plants from the root, and over time they gradually die. So when you're experiencing wilting, we recommend that you examine the root zone. It's soil borne, so be careful to spread soil around so that they don't spread within the farm. For powdery mildew, it's also a fungal infection. It infests the leaves. You find them underneath the leaves with a powdery like it discussed, and then it begins to sit like a scar underneath the leaves, and over time it spreads. It's a very infectious disease. Protocols for management beyond spraying, you have to prune off the old leaves that are more vulnerable to infections. And then importantly, we have also experienced deficiencies from micronutrients. And so some of the treatments we recommend for the wilting, we recommend that you use copper, products that are rich in copper oxide. There should be above 50 grams. And then for powdery mildew, we recommend products that are high in hexaconazole. It should also be above 50 grams per volume. And for micronutrient deficiencies, the good thing you need to learn as an agronomist is that this disease don't build up overnight. They take time to manifest. So the moment you notice a deficiency in the virus form, be it for calcium, magnesium, iron, or the likes, understand that there have been deficiencies you've neglected, and over time, and the results will not manifest overnight because you are introducing those micronutrients. So understand that micronutrient application requires time. So begin your application the moment you transplant, if possible from your nursery, so that these micronutrients are built into your nutrient management. Some of these videos we've talked about, we have the links to various other videos like the Phytosanitary management attached to the link. We recommend you watch them. If you have any questions, please feel free to send in your comments, and any challenge in your farm, we'll be happy to address them. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.